Controlling behavior is not love, it's the fastest way to break a marriage. What if the way you show love is slowly breaking the very bond you're trying to protect? In many marriages, what begins as care or concern quietly turns into control, checking phones, setting rules, questioning choices, all in the name of love. But true love isn't about managing someone else's life. It's about creating a space where both people feel free, respected, and safe to be themselves. Across the US and Europe, couples are struggling with this hidden pattern, one partner trying to feel secure by holding tighter, while the other quietly shrinks to keep the peace. This isn't how love thrives. It's how it breaks. This conversation is an invitation to pause, reflect, and rebuild trust, not through control, but through courage, honesty, and connection. Let's begin. Part 1. What controlling behavior looks like in marriage. Control often starts with small, reasonable requests and grows into rules. It can be social, I don't like your friends; personal, change that outfit; technological, checking phones, scanning emails, reading DMs; logistical, insisting on calendars, demanding constant updates; or financial, restricting accounts, policing spending, blocking work choices. It can also be subtle, a heavy sigh when you answer a colleague's message, a joke that lands as shame, an eye roll that warns you not to try. The feeling underneath is universal: tightness in the chest, walking on eggshells, the sense that a conversation might become a cross-examination. Here's the shape it often takes. Control replaces curiosity. Interrogation replaces interest. Compliance replaces consent. Spontaneity exits. The partner who is controlled becomes smaller. The partner who controls becomes lonelier. Children watching learn a script about love they may later rehearse with someone who doesn't deserve them. Real examples help us see the pattern. In Manchester, Liam, an IT engineer, checked the location of Eva, a nurse, every hour during night shifts. She handed over passwords to keep the peace. Their loop was familiar: if you loved me you'd reassure me, versus if you trusted me you'd stop. Naming the fear, Liam's earlier betrayal, didn't excuse control, but it finally explained it. In Milan, Marco insisted on approving what Elena wore to protect her from disrespect. What he was really protecting was his insecurity in rooms where Elena's light was bright. When he said, "I feel small next to you, and that scares me," control gave way to connection. These aren't villains and victims. They're people with fear and longing who need a better way. Part 2. Why control is so destructive. Control corrodes trust because it confuses love with surveillance. It undermines dignity because it treats an adult like a risk to be managed rather than a partner to be known. It kills intimacy because intimacy requires freedom to speak, to choose, to be fully oneself. In daily life, control turns ordinary moments into tests. The unanswered text becomes evidence. The late reply becomes intent. The social invitation becomes threat. The controlled partner starts editing themselves to avoid conflict. And the controlling partner feels temporary relief followed by deeper anxiety, which demands even tighter rules. Left unchecked, couples drift into emotional distance, covert avoidance, even secret keeping, ironically fueling the very insecurity that sparked control. The home feels less like a sanctuary and more like a courtroom. Over time, the body keeps the score: tension, headaches, shallow breathing, irritability, insomnia, and the cultural scripts we sometimes borrow: loyalty, modesty, leadership, submission, become weapons when imposed instead of chosen. Words like those are beautiful when mutual and free. They are harmful when they excuse fear. When we mistake control for care, we break the very safety we're trying to build. Part 3. Where controlling behavior comes from. Most controlling behavior is rooted in fear, not malice. Common roots include past betrayal, a previous partner's infidelity. Chaotic childhoods where hypervigilance kept you safe. Low self-worth that looks for guarantees. Or cultural models where one partner leads and the other obeys. Sometimes control even worked. In the short term, reassurance arrived. Panic dropped, and so the cycle was reinforced. This is why shaming the controller doesn't help, it drives the fear underground. And telling the controlled partner to just be patient won't help either. Patience without boundaries becomes self-erasure. The goal is not to prove who is right, the goal is to name what is true. I'm demanding more certainty than love can give. Or, I've been letting your fear make me smaller. When truth is spoken without blame, the room changes. That's when couples can trade control for collaboration, because they finally know what they're fighting. And it isn't each other. Part 4, 5 Healing Steps to Transform Control into Trust. Step 1. Acknowledge the behavior and the fear beneath it. Begin with ownership, not defense. I'm asking for your phone because I panic. Not because you've done something wrong. Or, I've been agreeing to rules that shrink me because I'm afraid of conflict. If naming the fear feels impossible face to face, write it down and read it aloud. Honesty is the hinge that swings the door. Step 2. Create a safe space for honesty. Don't try to fix control in the middle of a fight. Schedule a weekly check-in, phones face down. 30 minutes. Same time. Set simple ground rules. One speaks at a time, no interruptions. Name calling, or sarcasm, if either gets flooded. Take a 20-minute break and return at a specific time. Use I language when you don't reply for hours. I catastrophize and reach for control. I want to choose trust instead. But I need your help. Or, when you check my phone I feel untrusted and small. I want freedom and closeness at the same time. In Boston, Maya and Ben added a practical line, if I'm slammed, I'll text, busy, update at 7 feet so you're not left in the dark. It's unromantic and very loving. Step 3. Rebuild respect with clear, mutual boundaries. Boundaries aren't punishments, they're conditions that make love livable. Decide together. Passwords are private unless both agree to share for a practical, time-limited reason. Never to police. Location sharing, if used, is for safety during travel or late nights. Not surveillance. Friendships are allowed, including with the opposite sex. While practicing transparency about context, solitude is a need, not a threat. Money is shared for joint responsibilities, but each partner has financial autonomy, for example, a personal allowance or a small separate account. Consent and clarity matter more than uniformity. A boundary not clearly agreed to is a fuse waiting to burn. Step 4. Replace control with connection rituals. Control tries to manage outcomes, connection manages understanding. Build small daily and weekly practices. A 2-minute morning check-in, one thing you're looking forward to. One thing you're dreading, a 10-minute evening debrief, what felt good today? What drained you? And where can I meet you tomorrow? And a weekly, state of us, with 3 questions, what went well? Where did we miss each other? What's one thing we'll do next week to feel like a team? Use a curiosity first rule. The first 3 things you say are questions, not accusations. In Stockholm, Sophia and Anders created a yellow flag system, sending a yellow heart emoji when jealousy spiked. I'm not okay. Please reassure me. I promise not to interrogate you later. In Paris, Camille and Theo ended nights out with a 5-minute kitchen floor ritual, feet touching. Each sharing one sentence, what I loved tonight. What scared me, how you can meet me tomorrow. Fear shrinks when spoken. Love grows when asked for. Step 5. Use repair and professional support when needed. Every couple ruptures, healthy couples repair faster. Try this script. Name the behavior without excuse. Name the impact. Name the plan. I'm sorry I checked your messages. It made you feel small and untrusted. Next time I'll text, "I'm spiraling," and take a walk before I touch your phone. Or, "I'm sorry I minimized your fear, my delay triggered you. Next time I'll send a quick status and a clear time I'll respond." If deep insecurity or trauma sits under the pattern, therapy is not a luxury, it's leverage. Think of it as coaching for your bond. Brief, focused work can change years of habit by teaching you to regulate your body. Challenge catastrophic thoughts, and replace black and white rules with flexible agreements. And if control has crossed into abuse, isolating you from friends, monitoring every euro or dollar, threatening consequences, the priority is safety, not winning an argument. Quietly build a plan with someone you trust and reach out to local resources. Love never requires you to shrink to survive. Conclusion: choose trust over control. Love over fear. Control will break a marriage, courage will rebuild it. The invitation isn't to become perfect but to practice different. Retire one controlling behavior this week and replace it with one connecting behavior. If you're the controller, try this. When the urge hits, pause, breathe, and say, "Fear, I see you, but you won't run my marriage today." Then tell your partner, "I want to understand you more than I want to manage you." If you're the one being controlled, say, "I want us close, and I need respect to stay close," and hold that line with kindness and firmness. Ask each other tonight, "What would help you feel both free and loved with me?" Then do that, imperfectly, consistently, until your home feels less like a courtroom and more like a sanctuary where two adults are allowed to be human and still be chosen. One day you will notice the old urge to control show up like an unwelcome neighbor but without a key. And you will notice something else: two people who chose courage over fear, curiosity over interrogation, repair over pride. Two people who learned that love only thrives where trust and freedom are invited to stay. If you found this video meaningful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. If you're facing unresolved challenges in your own marriage, we invite you to share your story in the comments below. We read every message, and we hope our words of encouragement will give you the strength to keep going. Even on the hardest days, we're here with you. And we look forward to seeing you again in the next episode.